Damage 365 Radio with your host Kevin Nasta and John Torrey.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control. And if you can take it, all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about pain. And who's gonna make it?
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Damage 365 Radio, episode number 4. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Coach Kev, along with my co-host, the real number 8, JT, who's in the house.
And living the life.
And also joining us, our co-host, Nick the Beard, is in the house via satellite.
Great over here, guys. Get ready for the Rumble.
That's it. It's Royal Rumble Sunday. But before you enjoy the Rumble, stumble on over to Damage 365. Listen to the show, get our Rumble picks. We'll recap Jersey Championship Wrestling from this past Friday night in Manville, New Jersey. A packed house of over 450 people, turning people away at the door because the fire commissioner said so. They also packed the house in Brick, New Jersey on Saturday of over 400 fans. So JCW, future looking good. Damage 365 future looking good. And this show is looking good. So today, everything is looking good. We will get right into our social networking segment of the show. You can reach Damage 365 Radio via our socially damaged sites. Skype at Damage 365 Radio, Twitter at Damage Athletics, Facebook at facebook.com/Damage365, our corporate site, damageathletics.net, where you can not only visit Damage Athletics Softball, but Damage 365 Radio. And we are officially on Instagram at instagram.com/Damage365. So all you fans and not fans who are just stalkers of the show, make sure you tune in to see all our event pictures on Instagram. Because if you don't like us, I got 2 words for you. Wait, I guess I should have 2 words for them.
What the hell was that?
That was more than 2 words, but that's okay.
5 words.
That was 5 words. But we don't really care because we're moving on. It's officially the shout-out segment of the show, as we this week have happy birthdays to the alumni Co-Ed Softball League Commissioner Stu Pfeffer. Happy birthday, Big Stu. Happy birthday to my girlfriend Jen. She's downstairs, probably listening to me through the floor. Happy birthday, Jen. Happy birthday, Jen.
Happy birthday, Jen.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Damage alumni Kurt Cahill Jr. And happy birthday to Damage alum Elizabeth Glaus. Happy birthday, everybody.
Yes, sir, we promised you a great main event here tonight.
The giant WrestleMania!
Hulkamania is running wild.
My God, what
And welcome back, and we're going to get into the best of the best of the best technical wrestlers of all time. Round number 2 results. Did anybody take a look at this, or they just assumed that I wasn't going to allow it until today's show?
I would have assumed.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? Did you check it out?
I assumed.
No, you guys suck. You know what happens to when you assume, you make an ass out of you, and that's it. Alrighty.
What about me?
You're always an ass. Okay. Hulk Hogan advanced, defeating Bobby Lashley. And it was Andre the Giant defeating Mike Rotunda. So, IRS audited by the big man, Andre the Giant. And it is Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Gee, where have I seen that one before?
Well, would you have it any other way?
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think so.
It's probably the only way you're going to get rid of Hulk Hogan in this tournament, or Andre, because remember, Andre pre-1984 actually was a very good wrestler, and Hulk Hogan pre-1987 was actually a very good wrestler himself. So
I think that's the best way to get rid of one of those two in this tournament is to face each other. So it's going to be interesting to see who advances and then who they have to face in the next round.
I agree. I mean, it's just the way it's going. It's the way the cookie crumbles. Not to steal a word from Groundhog Day, but Ultimo Dragon defeated Chavo Guerrero Jr. and it was the Macho Man Randy Savage defeating Bob Backlund. So it's Randy Savage versus Ultimo Dragon, a match that's never happened.
That is going to be a great match, and that was my pick from the very beginning is Ultimo Dragon. So I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup in that round.
Nice. Some might say this is an upset. I don't. Daniel Bryant defeating the King of Hearts, Owen Hart. And it was Harley Race knocking off Jake the Snake Roberts. So it's Daniel Bryant against Harley Race.
That's a very interesting matchup. It's one that could go either way. I mean, Daniel Bryan's one of the faces of the WWE right now. Harley Race is one of the best ever. It's going to be a toss-up. Yeah,
I mean, Harley Race is... Harley Race, back in his heyday, he was a hell of a wrestler. I mean, people look at him and he's kind of frumpy and lumpy and, not chiseled. The guy was a technician in the ring. He was a beast.
Absolutely.
Ask Ric Flair. Rick the Model Martel defeats Finlay. And it was Dean Malenko knocking off a former Four Horsemen member of his own, Arn AA the Enforcer Anderson. So it's Rick Martel versus Dean Malenko.
I think Dean Malenko can go far in this tournament, to be honest.
I mean, he went pretty far in the Intercontinental Championship tournament. This fits right into his mold. Technical wrestling. This is him in a nutshell. He did not get enough exposure in his day. If he was, in his mid-30s right now, in the prime of his career, he'd be right up there with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan for all the pop in the world for their wrestling ability.
Exactly, and back then, I mean, he was that mid-card guy. Unfortunately, he was fighting for the cruiserweight title in WCW, and
yep.
I mean, and in the WWE, he just didn't get the attention that he should have.
And there's another heart out. So it happens to be a night of just heart failure, apparently, because Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, defeats Bret the Hitman Hart. He is out. And Kurt Hennig will take on Ted DiBiase Sr., the $1 Million Man, who defeated Iron Sheik. So it's Mr. Perfect against the $1 Million Man.
I like Mr. Perfect in that matchup. 100%.
I absolutely do too.
Ted DiBiase, another very underrated technical wrestler. Very underrated.
Mr. Perfect's not overrated, though.
Absolutely not. And, again, if he was wrestling in this era, people would really appreciate the skill of wrestling. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defeated Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, and it was Larry Zbyszko defeating Rugged Ronnie Garvin. So Ricky the Dragon against Larry the Legend Zbyszko.
That's such an amazing matchup right there. That matchup, hands down, could go either way. It could be one of the best matchups in the tournament.
I think so. I mean, when Ricky did match up against Larry Zbyszko back in the day, Larry was towards the tail end of his career, and Ricky Steamboat's career was just taking off. So you really can't measure it during that time frame. But again, it's like you really wish you had a time machine and you can take certain wrestlers back in time or forward in time with you in their prime and put them against each other. It would be amazing. It really would be amazing.
Let's invest in doing something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just jump in my DeLorean.
Why the hell not?
Okay, it was Shawn Michaels defeating his clique buddy Scott Hall, pre-NWO Scott Hall, who many don't realize. Scott Hall was a hell of a wrestler before he got into his Razor Ramon NWO days. But he is out. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, moves on. And he will take on Kurt Angle, who defeated CM Punk.
Not an Olympus gold medalist for nothing.
Kurt Angle against Shawn Michaels in the next round.
Both guys are very well known in this day and age as well. That matchup could go either way. I mean, Shawn Michaels I would probably take Shawn Michaels in that matchup, but again, still going to be great.
In a little side note, and we were confronted at the show by the Down Boys, Steven and Tony, and they wanted to know that what happened to Lance Storm? Why wasn't Lance Storm? How did he get eliminated in the first round? You guys remember my answer?
Yeah, didn't you say from a nobody or something like that?
No, he didn't say that.
No, he got defeated by Scott Hall in the first round, but
okay.
I said no because he's Canadian.
Yeah.
And they just threw their hands up in the air. They couldn't come back.
Pardon the French.
All right, moving on. Ric Flair, woo! Gone. He's out. Dynamite Kid defeats the Nature Boy. Pre-1995 Ric Flair. And it was Brock Lesnar defeating Tully Blanchard. Now that's a bad luck out of the draw for Tully Blanchard because Tully Blanchard probably could have defeated any other person not named Dean Malenko in this bracket for this round. But he went up against the college superstar, UFC champ, and the youngest WWE champ ever, Brock Lesnar. So it'll be Brock Lesnar against the Dynamite Kid. Boom. How do you feel about that one?
It's going to be a good matchup. Two totally different styles. Brock's always been a big guy. The Dynamite Kid wasn't necessarily a huge guy. It's going to be a great matchup.
Okay, well that's your round, folks. Brock Lesnar versus Dynamite Kid, Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels, Larry Zbyszko versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, The $1 Million Man versus Mr. Perfect, Dean Malenko against Rick Martel, Harley Race versus Daniel Bryant, Ultimo Dragon versus Randy Macho Man Savage, and Hulk Hogan pre-1987 versus pre-1984 Andre the Giant. So that is the next round of our tournament. And we want to move into a special segment that we pre-recorded at the JCW event from Jake the Snake Roberts to you, the fans. It was very heartfelt. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to enjoy this and I want you to listen very carefully. And this video is available for share on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Damage365. Enjoy.
Trust me, 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 trust me.
But then along the way, I forgot what I was looking for. And people say, well, Jake, why did you do cocaine? Hell, because I like that shit. Pretty simple. But the problem with the drug or the alcohol is it's only your friend for a while. And then the shit turns on you. And it sucks the very life out of you. 15 months ago, I was dying in Texas, ashamed of what I became. He tore the mirrors off the wall. He quit going to town except 3 o'clock in the morning. Walmart's not any fun at 3 a.m. either. I didn't want to live anymore. I was ready to give it up because I had no life. I had no life. And thank God I had one friend that was just as stubborn as I was. Diamond Dallas Page. Now, I gotta be straight up with you. 58 years ago when I came into this world, if you told me yoga, I said, kiss my ass. But I don't do yoga, I do DDP yoga. It's a different animal. It's a different animal. It helped me recover. Because you see, I was 307 pounds, man.
I couldn't get out of a chair unless she pulled me to my feet. My body was all stove up. I was eating the wrong things. Inflammation from dairy products. It caused my hands where they were curled. I couldn't straighten them out. And he straightened me out. Slowly but sure. It's been 15 months. It's a journey that I'm enjoying. But I'll tell you this. I've been to a few jails and I've been to several rehabs. I never met anybody in either place that said, when I was little, I wanted to grow up and become a drug addict or an alcoholic. Nobody dreams of that. It's something that happens to you along the way. My advice to you is this. If you're traveling that road, get the hell off of it, man. Get the hell off of it while you can. Because I've got a lot of friends that we've buried because they made a bad choice. You don't have to make that choice. All you gotta choose to do is live. Please, for your own sake and your family, don't turn your back on opportunities, man. God bless you. Thank you.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for wrestling legend.
Trust me, 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 trust me.
And we're back, and that was a very heartfelt moment for Jake the Snake Roberts to stand out there in front of the entire 450-plus crowd in Manville at the VFW Post in Manville, New Jersey, to not only just admit his faults and his demons and how he got help, but to spread the message to people that, if they travel down that path, to get off that road immediately, seek help, don't turn your back on people that want to help, because he's seen too many friends and co-workers that they buried very early because they could not beat the demons, because they kept them to themselves. And a very good message to the very mixed crowd at JCW, not only young kids, but adults and a lot of, even some seniors. I saw a lot of seniors in the crowd too. And a very heartfelt moment for Jake the Snake Roberts. I give him a lot of respect, and we wish him luck on his continued success of rehab, because it's 15 months. It's not over. I mean, it's a lifelong battle for the rest of his life. So of course we want to spread the word for Jake the Snake Roberts and wish him luck.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes,
always.
I think it's also a great message for the young wrestlers that are part of JCW, that are just there, like just getting to speak with them backstage and listen to that. I think it's just great for them, just so they can go down the right path and not steer the wrong way.
Yep, I agree with that.
Don't let it break you, make it make you.
All right, let's get into the JCW show itself. They had a pre-show match where it saw Brandon Kirk pin the Bulldog James Dillon. In the main card, it was Mike Quest upsetting former WWE star Matt Striker. In the second match of the night, it was the aforementioned Tony and Steve the Down Boys defeating Glitz and Glamour, Jarrett Foster and Steve Sterling. And for the Down Boys, it continues their hot streak on their way to the JCW's J Cup for the Tag Team Championship. Good job to Tony and Steve. Also, news on Tony and Steve, they will be joining us at the big event in Queens. So come to the big event and visit our table. You'll see the staff of Damage 365 Radio. They'll have some free giveaways. And you'll get to meet Tony and Steve, the Down Boys. They'll be signing autographs, and they'll have some t-shirts for sale. And we'll be representing JCW as always. And congratulations to the Down Boys. It was the Beast, Kyle Winnant, defeating Jeff Cannonball in a door match. First man that went through the door loses the match. And it was Jeff Cannonball that went through it. The son of Kamala, LaFu, with help from Kim Chi, double pinned Kevin Cross and Timmy Rich in a very very squash match.
To say the least.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. He didn't even need help from Kimchi. The Kimchi just got involved because he was bored.
The size difference was just pretty astronomical.
And a 4-way fatal elimination match for the JCW Extreme title. It was champion Bandito Jr. retaining the title when Nikki Ocean, Lucky 13, and Frightmare were each individually eliminated, and Bandito Jr. was the last man standing. So congratulations to Bandito Jr. for retaining, and will be returning as the JCW Extreme Champion. It was Kenny and Danny of the Spirit Squad, accompanied by the beautiful SoCal Val. They defeated Nate Mustang and Ice Pick Lewinsky. Danny stepping in and helping because Mikey was unavailable, but did not matter because they defeated Nate Mustang and Ice Pick on their way to the JCW Jake Cup Championship. It was the WWE legend Jake the Snake Roberts and JCW champion Damian Darling defeating the Players Club, Eric Andretti, the Escort, and Danny DeMonto, who was making his return to the ring after surgery and many, many months off. But it did not matter because it was Jake the Snake and Damian.
As expected.
No pun intended. Damian Darling did not come out of a bag, but Jake the Snake and Damian were victorious over the original Players Club. To kind of get into the experience itself with JCW, like we said, there was almost 500 people there. They were turning people away at the door. The fire commissioner was basically telling people, no more, go home, bye-bye, can't come in. And, you know, it was a great event to have that kind of atmosphere, full crowd, that buzz, and all that excitement. You know, I'm sure Jake the Snake, him being there, was one of the main reasons why they drew as much as they did. Because the last time we were in Manville, I think they had between maybe 225 people. So, I mean, they more than doubled the crowd. And 225 people in that spot is
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a big post, but 400 plus, 450 plus. You know, that's not even counting the staff that works there, the talent, the people signing the talent that's behind tables signing autographs, us, the DJ, the broadcasters, the camera crew, the referees. That's not even counting all those people. There was over 500 people in that building.
They were pulling random chairs out from everywhere,
including out from under our asses.
Yeah, we ended up taking one for the team and sitting on the edge of the stage.
Which was not good, because my back hurt the entire night.
It was a great view.
But it was a great view, yes. It was a great view. And
great view, great event. Ricky O just did it once again. He just, every single time we show up, every time we go there, he treats us like family, and he just does a great job throwing on these events.
He does, and he's one of the reasons why the Down Boys will be joining us in Queens. As I told the Down Boys, I spoke to them in advance. They agreed that they would do it, and I said, but I have to get Ricky's blessings, because I do not reach into someone else's refrigerator without asking. And that's just respect. That has nothing to do with me being Italian. Just has to be doing that. I was raised correctly, and you know what? I got the blessings from Ricky. It's exposure for JCW, it's exposure for the Down Boys, and of course it's exposure for us. And it's going to be a great event because there's going to be other wrestlers and other sport athletes that are going to be in the house, and everybody's going to get to meet everybody. And my goal by the end of that day is to make sure everybody walks out with a Damage 365 pen.
And I think it's going to be a great event. I think we're going to be able to meet a lot of people, a lot of influential people in the wrestling business, independent and professional. I think it's going to be great for the Down Boys too. Get to meet a lot of other wrestlers, hear their stories, talk to them a little bit, and just help them on their path to wherever they plan on going.
Yeah. Not only that, we would like to thank Ricky O. We like to thank SoCal Val, Valerie Wyndham, for her photo ops with us at the end of the show. We'd like to thank Matt Stryker for his photo ops and, of course, photo bombing my picture with SoCal Val. I'm sure she really, really needed the bunny ears to look even better than she did already. And we just like to thank Matt Stryker for a very, very entertaining night. He sat next to us pretty much after his match and BS with us the entire night. He's freaking hilarious. Yeah, go ahead.
I went to the bathroom, I come back, and Matt Stryker took my seat. You know what? I'm okay with that.
Matt Stryker's the guy who took... See, I would have just kicked his ass, but... No, I'm kidding. Nick's a little guy, but no. I'm kidding. But, and we also like to thank Nani. Nani, a former wrestling analyst from season 1, was her and I's first... We've known each other for almost 15 years. And it was her and I's first show together. First wrestling event, period, together. And it was really nice to go out there and spend some time with her. And she got to hang out with the Damage crew. And she just chilled out with us, And all of us were all sitting there with Matt Stryker. And we just BSing the whole night, being entertained by JCW. And it was, a 1 to 10. It was like a 15.
Yeah, every time I leave a JCW event, I walk out of the event very upbeat with a good feeling.
Yeah, and every show... I've been to more than Nick and more than JT. We were all at the original Manville show. That was groundbreaking for us. I've been to Denellen, I've been to Kenilworth, and been back to Manville again. And each show is better, and better. And I'm not just saying that they're bringing in better former WWE guys, because that's not even the case, because Matt Stryker and the Spirit Squad have been there since day one. And it's just that the way they're promoting and the way they're advertising is just reaching out to the real fan. Okay? Not the fan who wants to come to a wrestling match and have 4 or 5 beers and piss all over the bathroom and call it a night. These are fans. These are real fans. And it's old school wrestling. Pack them tight. Pack them, close in a bingo hall, in a VFW post, and watch real wrestling. And be entertained.
I just think the JCW roster is they're just improving tremendously just every single night. Every single one of those guys and just impressed me through and through.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. And who do you have for the Royal Rumble tonight? Let's get our picks out there quick, because in about less than 2 minutes, Jack Blaze, the chairman of Legends of Pro Wrestling, is calling. So, who do you have for the Rumble tonight?
It's a toss-up.
Toss it quick.
I don't know if Daniel Bryan's going to be in it or not. It's a toss-up. I think he will be in it.
I think so, too.
And I got to go with Daniel Bryan. He's every single time he comes out, the crowd gets more and more behind him. I haven't seen the crowd behind somebody like this since Stone Cold.
Okay, what number is he going to draw? And I'm not going to ask you.
He's going to draw a late number.
Okay, so you think he's going to be somewhere between 20 and 30?
I was going to say 25 and 30, actually.
25 and 30, so somewhere between 20 and 30.
He's going to be a late, because they don't want to subject him to a possible more injury. Like, he's cleared by the doctors to wrestle after a concussion. But, he had a previous match earlier tonight with Bray Wyatt. So I do want to say that probably between 25 and 30.
Right, what about you?
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Or Batista. I don't want to see Batista in the title picture. Doesn't entertain me.
So CM Punk was drawing number 1. I'm taking Daniel Bryan. I think he's drawing number 2. And I think it will be Daniel Bryan and CM Punk at the end drawing 1 and 2. And it will be some kind of swing of how Daniel Bryan eliminates CM Punk. Whether it is a member of the Shield or the member of the Authority or
Corporate Kane,
or a surprise entrant, a surprise appearance by somebody that should not be there. We'll not mention any names, but you never know. The dirt sheets are hot today. I can tell you that. So
I actually think entrants 2 through 4 are going to be all the members of the Shield, personally.
It would be great if they were 1, 2, and 3. I remember the Royal Rumble and Demolition, Axe and Smash were 1 and 2. And they looked at each other for 2 seconds and started beating the crap out of each other. It was great.
Yep. And I think it's going to be Punk number 1, and then 2 through 4 is going to be the rest of the Shield, because I feel like that's going to escalate the whole Authority versus CM Punk line.
Well, you never know.
We'll find out in a couple hours.
Oh, all right. So we're just waiting on Jack Blaze to give us a call, and let's take a commercial break. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Esposito's Pizza and Pasta. Over a decade of excellent dining experience. Dine in, take out, or free delivery. We feature over 25 different types of pizza pies, and also will create anything you want. Our sauces are made fresh daily and use only the freshest ingredients. We also have good old-fashioned style entrees, cooked like your mom used to make. From wraps, calzones, rolls, and pasta specials galore to calamari and soups, all in a cozy atmosphere. Call today or stop on in.
Okay, we're back, and we're having some technical difficulties with our phones. We're gonna send JT downstairs and have him plug in the base of the unit. I don't know, it got disconnected somehow. So
I'm basing the unit.
Yeah, he's basing the unit. The unit's downstairs behind the television. The wire's in the kitchen. So
I'll figure it out.
The phone wire has to be connected to the base, and the base has to be plugged into the wall. So that is why we have not heard from Jack Blaze, is because that our telephone is unplugged.
That's the problem with live radio. Things like that happen.
There's always some sort of damn audio issues with us. I just don't get it. You think after freaking 40-something shows we'd get it right. But, all right. Well, I don't even know if he's listening. Jack, if you're listening, give us a call. 917-335-0201. That is 917-335-0201. And we'll get you on immediately via wireless. Man, landlines are sucking. But, all right. As far as the Royal Rumble is concerned, yes. Okay, as far as the Royal Rumble is concerned, who do you think is going to be maybe a shocking,
Entrance?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a toss-up. There's going to be a lot. I mean, I think there was like 20 wrestlers announced, so there's going to be a couple surprise entrants that get thrown in there. X-Pac has been a possibility. Kevin Nash.
Okay.
I think guys like that might. You might even see Triple H get thrown in there to further the storyline with CM Punk. You might see something along those lines.
Okay. Yeah, because I read a little earlier that they think that some kind of spin would happen with because the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn are, kind of leaning towards Triple H and the Authority, how they screwed CM Punk. And I can totally see something like that, but I've heard that X-Pac and maybe HBK, and you kind of might see the reformation of the Clique, maybe a Kevin Nash, Scott Hall sighting.
Yep.
So, I mean, you never know. I mean,
maybe the Dead Man.
I have a funny feeling you're most definitely going to see the Godfather because he was there last year.
Yep, exactly. You're also going to see some surprise entrants that nobody even remotely thought of. So that's always how it is. You're always going to have like maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 guys who haven't even been rumored to show up who are going to show up in the Royal Rumble.
Maybe we'll get a Zack Ryder sighting.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my money on it.
Maybe we'll get a Hornswoggle.
Throw that out there.
Maybe we get a Zack Ryder sighting, or
He probably has to buy his own ticket.
Yeah, it's probably. There was a picture floating around the internet where he was like standing by the curtain, like looking out, watching Raw.
Yep, I saw that. That was I think like a week or two ago. I couldn't help but crack up.
All right. Regardless of what the hell is going on with the damn phone, we will get Jack Blaze on regardless if we have to go to extended play or not.
Did I fix it?
I have no idea. It still says it's searching, so I have no idea. This is like ridiculous.
It must give technology time.
It's just,
How about the Undertaker coming back to the Rumble?
No.
Why not?
No, it's not happening.
Why not?
It's because it's not.
You got to set up a storyline for WrestleMania.
You don't need a storyline.
He'll come back a little before Elimination Chamber or just after Elimination Chamber, in my mind.
Yeah, you don't need a storyline. It's going to be somebody versus the Undertaker. That's the storyline. There was no story. There was no storyline with CM Punk and Undertaker. It was just CM Punk came out and said, "I'm fighting the Undertaker." That was it. And then they had their couple of confrontations, and that was it. I mean, Undertaker is not going to come back unless he wants to come back, and he's not going to make many appearances before WrestleMania. That's just the way it is.
I was shocked in general that he came back after WrestleMania last year.
That is true. Okay, Nick, we're gonna let you go because we're gonna take the call from Jack on the other line.
No problem, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, man.
Always.
This is the house that Jack built, y'all. Remember this house. This was the land that he worked by hand. It was the dream of an upright man. There was a room that was filled with love. It was a love that I was proud of. This was the life that I loved by playing. Of the love and sing more love. The house that Jack built. The house that Jack built. Remember this house.
And ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome in the chairman of Legends of Pro Wrestling, Jack Blaze, is in the house. Welcome to the show, Jack.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Sorry about the technical difficulties because we just can't go a week without him.
Hey, at least I got through.
It's live radio. That's why I yelled out our other line, hoping that you were actually listening to the show while you were waiting.
I just actually looked on my cell and went to the radio's website, and under contact information, that's where I found the phone number.
See?
So I thought I'd give it a shot.
Good thing I whore myself very well.
And you had a smart guy to pick up on it.
That's right. See? The power of Google. Okay, first off, tell us about the LPW. Tell us about Legends of Pro Wrestling.
Sure. Actually, I had started my career in 2002 in a company called the XWF. Not to be confused with Jimmy Hart's XWF.
Okay.
But it was a company that mainly ran out of Bridgeport, Ohio. And a lot of guys went on to do great things. We used Original Sin quite a bit. We actually, Zema Ion actually had his very, very first professional match with us. We also had a very young Velvet Sky, a very young Angelina Love. Madison Rain, of course, is not that far from this area. And it was a great, great organization. It was the cruiserweights, it was the heavyweights. We brought in a lot of great talent, especially from the Pittsburgh area, like Lord Zoltan, who was still very much respected and well known. If anybody I'd like to see out of the Pittsburgh area show up in the Royal Rumble tonight, it would be Lord Zoltan. He's a great guy.
Okay.
But that company switched owners. I did everything from commentating to the first ever heel ring announcer. It was great. It was absolutely awesome. And we started bringing in legends there. They kind of hit and miss a little bit. And as the owners changed, politics changed. And I stayed with that company all the way through 2008-ish, early 2009-ish, somewhere right around in there. And in 2007, I created the Hall of Fame down in that area. Now, I understand that other organizations have done the Hall of Fame, but it was the first one in the Ohio Valley to ever be done.
Okay.
And my very first inductee was the Total Package Lex Luger. He came in on crutches. We used him in an arm wrestling bout in the main event, and it was shortly, we're talking within a couple of months, is when he went down with that spinal stroke in California. So he literally retired with us. Literally. It was his last professional match. And the only one to ever induct Lex Luger into a Hall of Fame. So that kind of kicked it off. Before I left XWF and XWF folded shortly after, I inducted Coco Beware and Brutus Beefcake, Shark Boy, New Jack, Larry Zbyszko, and the Honky Tonk Man was actually my last inductee there.
Okay.
October 2009, I said, heck with it. This Hall of Fame has caught the attention of the WWE, and it has caught the attention of TNA. So why not make that my bread and butter? And that's exactly what I did. And I created Legends Pro Wrestling based out of Wheeling, West Virginia. It's been going strong. And the interesting thing is that it's so popular, and because the list of names already inducted, that I get booked on other people's promotions. If they bring in a legend,
It's like a nice little added attraction. Well, let's bring in Jack Blaze, the Hall of Fame, because I give him a tribute video. I give him a nice frame certificate. I give him an 8x10 size plaque that Greg the Hammer Valentine said, and I quote, "Those are nicer than Vince's, Jack." And I carry that with me everywhere that I go. The fact that the Hammer told me my plaques are better than Vince's, never forgot that.
I just like the rings that Vince gives out, though. I like the rings.
The rings are nice, Jeff. You can't top the rings.
I did notice, I was looking at your Facebook page, and I did happen to notice that there was one guy that was not in your Hall of Fame. I think I even left you a comment. Where's Macho Man Randy Savage?
I wish I would have had this done to where, when he was alive, for him to come in and accept the plaque. And I think, and that's a touchy one, and I'll tell you why. Because if I was going to do the Macho Man Randy Savage, I would at least want Lanny Poffo right there front and center to accept the honor. When I inducted Owen Hart, another controversial one, and I said, if I'm going to do it, I want members of his family there, and they were. And including Jim Neidhart, who stood up, and and members of the family signed the certificate for me on behalf of the Hart family. And even Bret Hart, when I met him later on, he signed the same certificate and got all choked up over it and said, "Man, I looked for Owen to get to the WWE Hall of Fame, but you were the first one to ever induct my brother. Thank you." And it's things like that. So I think the Macho Man, absolutely, I think the Macho Man needs to be in this year's class. Over the Ultimate Warrior. I think he should have been the number one person they named.
I agree with that. But he has his wishes, and his brother Lanny is going to uphold him.
That's right.
And family, blood's thicker than water, and I can't fault Lanny for it. That's what Macho Man wanted. He wanted his family to be inducted, kind of like the Von Erichs. But in your case, I don't see why Lanny would turn his back on you inducting Randy on his own, and Lanny coming and signing that certificate on Randy's behalf.
You know what? And I don't think that would be a problem now either. And I've had a couple of conversations through Facebook with Lanny, and kind of in my own way threw it out there. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of short with his answers. But one of the last conversations that we did have was, he said he would find it to be an honor to represent him. So I think that's going to be in the very, very near future. And with the weather has been on the East Coast, and it's been, I never like to run in the wintertime, so I like to pick things up in spring. Mm-hmm. And, some of the names that I'm looking at, depending on their health-wise, two names in particular, besides Macho Man has been thrown around, but Bobby Heenan, believe it or not, was really excited at another honor. And the other person, beautiful Bobby Eaton, because I inducted a lot from that 80s era. Mike Nikita Koloff, the Rock and Roll Express, Tommy Rich, so there are a lot of the NWA, WCW guys too. So it's, I guess the biggest thing with me is that it's a humbling experience, because I'm getting the legends now reaching out to me. It's not just about a payday for them.
Right.
It's not just about a booking. They're reaching out just because they like the honor. I mean, who doesn't like to be honored and be added to a list of names that go from here to here? And now they're contacting me.
Okay. We're going to go into extended time, but we have a little less than a minute to close out our regular program, and then we're going to come back with Jack Blaze on the other side of the extended play and continue this interview. So for all of you that are following us live, you will be able to listen to this broadcast as it goes off the air. And a couple of minutes after we go off the air with Jack in the extended play, the second part will go up as well. So let's close out our regularly scheduled program, and so we can get Jack to continue his goals for 2014 and more news on the Hall of Fame. So, Jack, if you can hold on and bear with us momentarily.
Sure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for listening to part 1 of episode number 4 of Damage 365 Radio. Next week, we'll have former WEW World Champion Christy Kiss on the show. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, please help control the nitwit population and have your friends spayed or neutered. Please.
Closing time. One last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay.